everybody, and welcome back to AGP. As always, I am your host. I am the owner operator of AGP. I am Amanda, and I'm going solo because my right hand, she's in Vegas. Hopefully, when she comes back, we'll be rich and I can retire from my 9 to 5. Make me money, Cassie, while you're in Vegas, or else you're fired. Only to be rehired because convention season's right around the corner. Excuse me just a second. Sorry. Where'd you go? I owe you something. Come here. So this first puppy treat is because I actually had a podcast, or not a podcast, but a stream earlier where I was playing Stardew Valley, and she was asleep, snoring so bad, but somebody redeemed a puppy treat. So there you go. Bye. So today we're going to talk about movies because I need something to kind of sort of cheer me up, because I just heard one of the most horrible things I could ever hear in my entire life, like right before the podcast. Like it's so despicable. It just makes my mind wonder why people are the way that they are. Somebody actually asked, why are there still homosexuals on our planet? And proceeded to blame things like birth control and women putting estrogen in the water. And the only thing I could think of is, why are there still ignorant dumbasses on my planet like you? Like, people like that bother me. It make me sick. Just, ugh. So, we're going to try to be a happy day as best as we can, because I got to come home early. This is my second stream of the day. We have 2 creator podcasts that'll be coming up. We have Rodney Fike from Hazard Productions. He'll be coming on this Sunday. Let's see, today is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about his latest Kickstarter. And then I am working on the time, but we are going to have Adam Fields coming onto the show. And we just finished having an interview with Madeline Holly Rosin about her steampunk Boston Metaphysical comic, which is on Kickstarter. And then, of course, we have the Gym City Comic Con coming up on July 22nd to 23rd that we're going to be attending. And we have the Geek Out Festival that we will be attending, which is going to be from June 8th through June 11th. And then, of course, we'll be covering the E3 convention from June 13th through the 15th, I think, 15th or 16th. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. So make sure that you're following us on all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That way you make sure that you don't miss any of the stuff or any of our appearances that we're going to be making this year. So first up, one of mine and my crew's favorite games is getting a movie. This could be good. This could be bad. I'm hoping it's good. It is coming from Blumhouse, Atomic Monster, and Behavior Interactive. Basically, Atomic Monster and Blumhouse are going to be teaming up with Behavior Interactive, the creators of Dead by Daylight. And if you don't know who Behavior Interactive is, they are the largest Canadian gaming studio, and they're actually going to be working together to develop a film adaptation of Dead by Daylight. Now, if you don't know what Dead by Daylight is, you don't watch any gaming. It is a multiplayer horror game where one person plays as the killer and then 4 people play as survivors. The killer chases and hunts down, tries to hook and kill the survivors, while the survivors try to work together to repair generators to open up the doors to get out. It's a lot of fun, and it has a lot of lore. If you read up on Dead by Daylight, they tell you how every killer, every survivor ended up getting there. So there's a lot of lore. This game has been around since 2006. And what's actually really cool is that it has actually reached over 50 million players worldwide. Atomic Monster founder and CEO James Wan has said that in Dead by Daylight, the behavior team has created a love letter to the world of horror, building an incredible environment teeming with atmosphere and terrifying villains. Perfect for a scary cinematic adaptation. Being a big fan of the game, he is thrilled to be teaming up with Blumhouse to bring this to the big screen. So, if you don't know who James Wan is, he was the director of The Conjuring, Insidious, and Blumhouse produced Get Out and The Purge. So they are perfect fits for a Dead by Daylight movie. Perfect fits. Obviously, I expect it to be live action. I expect it to be at least rated R. I hope they bring the full horror. Now, a few people have asked, well, do you think they're going to be bringing in the licensed killers? I really don't. I think they're going to stick with the original killers and the original survivors of the game. So, like, your original survivors are going to be Jake Park, Claudette, Meg, and Dwight. So they may put in some of their other characters like Kate Denson that they've created, but I don't see them pulling any of the characters that they've had to pay licenses for. And your original killers are going to be no. The nurse, Trapper, I believe Wraith. Yeah, it should be Nurse, Trapper, Hillbilly, and the Wraith should be your original killers, which they all have really interesting backstories. So I think it'll be interesting. And a friend of mine actually came up with this really cool concept of what if there's like Jane Romero is a character that they created. So maybe they'll have like Jane Romero who's investigating the situation. She ends up in this world, and this is how you get your story of how they got there and what's going on. Because the biggest thing is how they're going to adapt it. Because the lore is they're kind of stuck at a purgatory, even though they didn't die, they're stuck there. And it's a constant game of cat and mouse between them and the killers. So will they get rid of that and move it to a straight up horror slasher flick? Or will they keep that aspect? And how much of the lore are they going to keep with this Dead by Daylight movie? And I'm interested to see who they pick as their characters. I love the fact that their characters have a very vast, diverse characters. Jane Romero, she ain't no scrawny bitch. You've got Claudette. You've got what is his name? What? Yes, there's gonna be a Dead by Daylight movie. Hi, Diamond. How are you doing today? Long time. I never get to talk to you anymore. Either I'm streaming or you're streaming. David. David, the really sexy shirtless guy in the game, he's gay. Oh, I won't. I want no. Dwight's actually. I'm pretty sure because since he's one of the original main four, I'm sure they'll have Dwight, May, Claudette, and Jake Park in there. But the other ones, it'd be interesting to see because one of the things that's really cool is Dead by Daylight actually has always had this really diverse cast. Okay, hold on. I got you. Give me just a second, man. Where the hell are you? It's been so long since I've had to send you a message. Get your freaking ass in here, old man. Special guest, Deadman! Send it on Twitter. He's like, I got a few minutes. I have many a minutes. Oh, y'all like my new specs that I have to wear? That's right. Now when I'm not on screen and I'm gaming, Twit is slow, lol. I now have to wear these specs because the blue white light's giving me migraines. So, yeah, you definitely won't be seeing me unless I'm doing a podcast because no, glasses feel weird. I know many people have had to wear glasses since they were kids. I don't even like wearing sunglasses for more than like 10 minutes. I don't know. It always hurts right here on my ears and it hurts right here. And then there's the glare and then it looks really weird because like I'm looking out the corner and I don't know. I guess it's something that eventually you get used to. But in case anybody happens to see, I've wore these during the entire Stardew Valley stream and I've been wearing them as I've been working on my videos. So hopefully no migraines tonight. Man, we need to update this. This ain't you anymore.
No, I know, but it's coming in on guest. I would have taken another 5 minutes to get my own StreamYard going up to use my other avatar. How are you, Amanda?
I'm good. I know you, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
I just haven't shaved lately.
Oh,
This topic was like awesome.
Yeah,
so how long have there been rumors about this movie coming out?
I just found out last week. Actually, my first notification obviously was from Dennis because Dennis is part of the Dead by Daylight Facebook community.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they released it on Facebook, Dennis instantly sent it to me in an instant message. And I really hate the fact that Cassie's out of town this week because I know she would have loved to have talked about this, but she's visiting Numi in Vegas and she better bring me back lots and lots of money so we can retire.
Yeah, there you go.
Or at least enough money for me to retire and she can continue working.
Right, exactly. She's HR anyway, so she's got to
Yeah.
Oh man. So, but like I said, was there any clue about this? It just, or is this just a complete shot out in the dark? It just
I'm sure there was, but here's the thing. So I kind of stay away from a lot of stuff because, every time something comes out, there's a controversy about something, and I'm just sick of listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I come across it, I happen to come across it, and the nice thing is that I'm not tattered or weathered from people and their BS about it. It becomes fresh and new for me, and then I get to go, oh, well, maybe it'll do this, maybe it'll do that. So I didn't hear anything about it until Dennis mentioned something about it, and I've been dying to talk about it, but there's just been so many things going on lately, including a tornado. You missed that one.
I think I heard about a tornado up that way. I knew there was some text, but I think some got up your way. Y'all okay?
Yeah, it missed me by that much. I could hear it.
Wow.
I was outside taking the dog potty when it hit.
Wow, that is scary to be that close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so what I'm thinking is like, I know you like the game. And so basically the game is a cat and mouse of repeating killer versus survivors. Can the survivors survive or do they get all murdered by the killer? And that's actually part of the lore of the game. None of the characters are actually, none of the survivors are dead, but somehow they're in like this purgatory mist. And so
sounds kind of funky, but hey, I'm listening.
But like the killers, like what's a really good one?
The singer,
the Wraith.
The Wraith. I was thinking Huntress, but yeah.
The Wraith is an actually interesting character. Like this, I think if I remember right, the Wraith story was he worked at Otto's Haven car park, and he was bullied and picked on by his boss, and he just finally snapped one day and he crushed his boss in a car.
Oh,
and wow. The entity was like, I'll take you. And he became the Wraith.
Interesting. So all the killers have their own backstory?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I've not. What about the Huntress? How did she develop her backstory?
The Huntress is Russian, and I don't think I remember everything about her. Hold on. I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
It's just really kind of a cool idea. I mean, there've been a lot of video game based movies, TV shows, all that kind of stuff, but this is kind of a neat one that you could have a lot
Yeah.
of fun with.
Okay. So yeah, I was right. His name was Philip Ojomo. Came to this country without anything than hope for a new beginning. He was happy as he got offered a job at Auto Haven Records, a small scrap yard with bribed cops turned a blind eye for somewhat shady business that took place. Philip
Mhm.
didn't care. He had seen criminal activity up close in his homeland, and as long as he didn't get involved, he let things be. He just fixed cars and handled the crusher. Something he did really well. A car went in and a small metallic cube came out. It was not until one gloomy day that he just by accident saw some blood coming from one of the uncrushed cars. As he opened the trunk, he found a young man gagged with tied hands with panic-filled eyes. Philip freed the man who managed to run 10 feet before Philip's boss stopped him and slit his throat. As Philip demanded answers, he got explained to him that he'd been nothing more than a simple executor, as more or less every car had a soul in them, as this was a service the scrapyard provided to certain clients. Philip snapped a whip ballistic. He threw his boss into the crusher and let it slowly compress as his head was stuck out. Philip grabbed it and pulled the head and spine out of the body, and then he left and was never seen again. That's when
Hmm.
the entity grabbed him. So the bell that he dings
Mm-hmm.
is the skull and spine of his boss.
Ooh, wow.
So you want more?
So the entity basically drafts them, I guess, for lack of a better word. The entity selects them and pulls them into this universe.
Hmm.
Wow, that's kind of that's kind of creepy. I mean, but it I it's nothing, no worse than anything else that's out there. Probably you could pull it off with with a lot of game fanatics and stuff. Probably if you like horror, I think that's what we see is that horror genre. You could really have it not only gaming but horror with that. So that's I think and I'm not big on scary movies and stuff like that, but having played the game, I'm
I just
I'd go.
I know a lot of people are hoping that they'll might bring in some. I don't think they're going to bring in any of the contracted ones, the ones that they had to pay rights for, like Michael Myers or, the, Leatherface, which I think they shouldn't. Let's keep this strictly the characters that they created. In all honesty, I like their characters a lot better. The Doctor,
Mhm.
the Huntress, their characters. Like, okay, you wanted to know the Huntress's lore, so here's the
Right.
Huntress's lore. As soon as Anna was able to walk, her mother started teaching her how to survive a harsh, solitary life in the northern woods. Living in such an extremely remote and dangerous area required skill and resilience. When sunlight became too dim for productive activities, they would take refuge in their house, a sturdy old cabin constructed to resist the toughest winters. Close to the hearth's warmth, Anna would rest in her mother's arms, surrounded by a few wooden toys and masks that she had crafted for her. Drifting off to sleep with stories and lullabies, she dreamt happy dreams, ignorant of the events that would soon change everything. Anna and her mother were stalking a great elk through the woods. They knew it was a dangerous prey, but it had been a particularly difficult winter, and they were almost out of food. The specter of starvation frightened them more than any forest creature. Without warning, the elk reared, bellowed, and charged at Anna. She was paralyzed with fear as the whole world seemed to shake under the immense beast's pounding hooves. The elk was close enough for Anna to see the murderous fury in its eyes when her mother threw herself in its path, an axe in hand. A blood-curdling scream escaped from her lips as the elk impaled her upon its antlers and hoisted her in the air. With all her strength, she brought her axe down on its head again and again while it tried to shake her loose. With a sickening crack, the antlers snapped and Anna's mother was free. The beast collapsed. Anna was too small to move her mother's broken body, so she sat with her in the clearing where she had fallen. To distract her from the dying elk's cries, Anna's mother held her and hummed her favorite lullaby, which is the one that you hear her singing
Right.
when we play. Okay. They stayed like that, the huntress and the elk getting quieter and colder until Anna was alone in the silent forest. Eventually, she stood up and started the long walk back home. Still a child, she knew just enough about life in the frozen forest to survive. She followed her instincts and became one with the wild. She got older and stronger and practiced her hunting and practiced her hunt. As she grew into a dangerous predator, her humanity became a half remembered dream. She widened her territory and lived off her hunts. She worked her way up through squirrels, hares, mink, and foxes. Eventually, she grew tired of them and hunted more dangerous animals like wolves and bears. When unexpected travelers came through her woods, she discovered her new favorite prey, humans. Unlucky souls who strayed into her territory were slaughtered like any other animal. She liked to collect their tools and colorful garments, and especially toys when they were little ones. But she could never bring herself to kill the little girls. Girls she would take back to her house deep in the woods. They were precious, and looking at them woke up something deep in her heart. She craved the closeness of a loved one, a child of her own. Among the pillaged wooded toys, dolls, and storybooks she couldn't read, the girls would be tied by the neck with a rough and chafing rope fastened firmly to the wall. She couldn't let them wander off, or they would surely die outside. Every time the girls would waste away and die of cold or starvation or sickness. Every time it plunged Anna deeper into pain and sorrow and madness. She was compelled to try again and start raiding the nearest villages to slaughter families who kidnapped their daughters. She wore one of the animal masks her mother crafted for her so many years earlier to try to calm the frightened children. Villagers spread the legend of a half-beast lurking in the red forest, the huntress who killed men and ate little girls. War eventually came to the forest. German soldiers began to pass through on the march to attack the collapsing Russian Empire. During these dark times, there were no more travelers. The villagers had abandoned their homes and no more little ones to be found. Only soldiers. Many of them were found with violent axe wounds. Whole groups disappeared mysteriously. Once the war was over, the rumors of the huntress disappeared with it, engulfed by the Red Forest. So the entity took her forest and her right after what seems to be World War II.
Oh, cool. I like that connection with the World War II. That's kind of cool. Because I like history and especially World War II. But that is a really cool backstory, though. And
And if
just
any of you want to find out any of the backstory of any of the survivors, any of the hunters, the killers, you could just go to Dead by Daylight wiki and it tells you everything. It even has a backstory for the entity.
wow, everything you want to know, or you might have not have ever thought you needed to know. But wow, but you know what?
But you know what?
Everybody's got a
I think
backstory.
it's kind of cool that there is this game that
Yeah.
has this much lore, this much story, and this much thought and detail into each of their characters. That's why it's funny when you watch, if you ever get to watch that thing that I told you about called Sammy Nation. If you guys aren't following them, go follow them, subscribe to them on YouTube. They do Dead by Daylight parodies,
Oh,
and it's an animated parody, but they make fun of basically what you could tell old school Dead by Daylight killers and survivors, the way they play. Claudette, she always hid in the bushes, and they make fun of that. So she would squat down in a bush in the animated parody. She would just disappear. Dwight's always in a locker. Meg's always being a bully and running around, which is why I get made fun of because Meg's my main character, and I'm playing her like a Claudette.
and y'all give me a hard time for hiding in the lockers. That's what Dwight does. Dang. Yeah, wow, that's cool. No, but I do agree. I mean, it does add another element to it with those backstories, especially the super kind of supernatural with this entity and how they get pulled into this zone. It's you can really have fun with it.
And
It's
with James Wan behind it, the guy who did, like I said, The Conjuring and Insidious, who I think he also was attached to the Saw movies. So he could do suspense and he could do horror. I think with the amount of lore that they have for these characters and this story, I think he could do a good job. So as long as they get, you know, as long as they get decent actors, they should be fine.
yeah, exactly. You would hope they would not screw this up. You know,
No,
they got a lot to work with. And don't stray too far from the backstories. But you can
no,
make the movie whatever you want it to be.
mm,
Of course, what do you do? Do you kill off your characters? Do you kill off your survivors?
that's actually gotta be the question. is where do they take this? How do they adapt it to a movie? Because in the video game, the lore states that the entity is playing an unending game with them of cat and mouse, just to tally up who's more successful. Are killers more successful or are survivors more successful?
You know, that reminds me of the end. I think it was which one? There's one of the Predator movies, and I don't remember if it's Alien versus Predator or if it's Predators. It was one I think with Aiden Quinn, where at the end,
Predators.
what's that?
Predators.
Predators. Yeah, it's the one at the end where he like all of a sudden realizes, oh God, there's more people coming. You know, I'm not getting off this planet. That's kind of that'd be kind of cool. Have this kind of ending, or in the Mouth of Madness, where you're kind of like, wait, what happened to the whole world? Is it real? Not.
And in all honesty, they could do that. There is a way for them to. Men Thang is an original one too. I forgot about her. So there was 5 originals. My bad. Anyway, with a very diverse cast. Yeah. Well, what's really cool is as Dead by Daylight has grown, they keep bringing in. They've made a very diverse cast of characters within there. You know, from they have gay to they try to represent every race, which I think is really cool. Because it is, it is kind of nice to be able to play a character that represents you. You know. Right. And so they have this diverse cast, and how cool would it be if, let's say, maybe they'll do something like, okay, Jane Romero is investigating the stories of the original 5 that disappeared. She gets pulled into the thing, and then at the end, you hear this noise, and like either Meg or Dwight say something like, oh no, it's caught another survivor. And you see maybe Kate Denson or somebody, or any of the other ones walk through. That's one of the newer survivors, and everybody's like, "Well, we better give them the lowdown."
Mm-hmm.
That could be, maybe that's how they end it. So like maybe they'll. I don't know if you ever saw. I think it was like "Happy Birthday to You" or "Birthday Something." It's an old 80s horror movie where they're on this little island and this girl is having her birthday party and all of her friends die. And at the end of the movie, you find out that they all faked their deaths as part of her birthday party. So they weren't actually dead.
Oh my gosh.
So how cool would it be, especially for people who have no idea what Dead by Daylight is? You're just watching Dwight kick the bucket, Meg kicks the bucket, Claudette kicks the bucket, Jake kicks the bucket. Then like Jane Romero's like, what's going on? And then she comes around to this corner and there's all 4 of them sitting there. And she's like, but you all died. And they're like, oh, honey, we haven't even begun to tell you what this world is. And then they hear the noise and then another survivor. That would be a great ending. James Wan, listen to me. Do this. Do this now. This is your ending. I just wrote it for you. Go on, take it. I'll take my royalty check, please, right here. Give me a royalty check. I'm fabulous. Thank you. I've written the ending of your movie. You could just fill in all the horror, blood, and gore and guts and stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, and it didn't cost you a dime. Yeah, it's free.
I just put my name in the credits.
Yep. I tell you what, fan ideas sometimes many times turn out to be the best. I know, like in a lot of Star Wars stuff, it's the fans that come out with better ideas than I think the big corporations do. I like a lot of the fan films better than I do anything that's come out lately. But it's the possibilities are endless. The thing is like me, is just keep it to the movie, keep it to the game, keep it within that realm. I'm not one big for social commentaries and things like that. Just make it a fun, bizarre movie. Just make it strange in the ending to have the people keep guessing. Is this real? Is it not real? Keep it. You know what I mean? Keep it fun.
I just want to see. I want to see the old school tentacles come out of the sky like they used to.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Bring on Cthulhu.
We always, in this one we call it the Spider God. because
The
it looks like
spider god.
a spider crawling down at first,
Oh
especially with
yes,
the fucking when you're on the hook and the thing and it starts
that is crazy. Yeah, that spider whole spider thing freaked me out.
but I want a little bit of comedy in this. I hope
Yes.
I hope that because he says he's a fan of the game, that he knows enough to maybe throw in tunneler or camper or something like that. Because
Hmm.
it would be so funny. Why is this motherfucker tunneling me? No, no, no. Stop it. Why is he camping me? Stop camping. You're a fucking camper, you asshole. I want those lines in this movie. I really do. Just that there's a difference between over giving fan service and giving just enough fan service, and those two lines right there is like just enough fan service. Or like have somebody with a flashlight that blinds the killer, and he's like, "You fucking dick, I hate you.
Well,
How dare
it's
you?"
comedy because that's what and I think you're right because that sometimes we can go too far into the seriousness of the quote the horror aspect, the killing part of it. But yeah, the humor because like when we play, what makes it fun is the dumb jokes, the bad jokes, the innuendo, all the crazy shit stuff that goes along with it. Not the serious stuff. It's like the lighter we are, kind of the more fun we have versus playing so serious all the time. And
Right.
really, the movie may be better to reflect that fun play and like people just messing around and make it one of those campy '80s movies.
It would be cool. I still want to see, I want it to be rated R. I want to be able to see the guts. I want a little bit of the horror, but it would be cool for a few fan moments, either, the flashlighting of the killer or, be like, oh, why is this chest, why is there a chest here? Oh, okay, cool. I found something in here. Or maybe there's one thing going, well, maybe, a really funny moment would be like, let's say one of them has like one of the items. They're like, well, maybe we could talk to him and appease them. And they
Yeah.
drop the gift, and the killer stands there for a second and goes, no, and be like, oh, that's just wrong. That's
That's
not, no, they gave you a gift. They tamed you. God killer. It would just be fun because, like, people like us who play the game obviously will watch the movie and we'll have our own little commentaries while we're watching
Well,
it.
it'd be kind of neat to throw in there where the killers get banged up a little bit and like they're dazed or whatever, and you got Dwight teabagging them or mocking them or something. Have a little back. You know, just don't make it so killer heavy. Have the back and forth with the survivors trying to
Yeah,
do
I
some
mean,
things.
there's a lot that they could do, like the fact that when you play the game and Trapper's there, you
Hmm.
run right past the bear trap, so you're like, why can't I pick this up and set it myself? Why do I not have the intelligence to set this bear trap? Why? Why am I so stupid? Why can't I do this? Or like Huntress, hey, I'm gonna hide. Oh crap, there's hatchets in this locker.
Well, the one that they can't do, they couldn't do any of the copyright ones like the pinhead
Right, like, yeah,
or
and
your
which I don't want
boyfriend.
them to.
What's your
Those people
boyfriend's name? What's your boyfriend's name again? The Umbrella Corp guy.
Oh, my husbando,
Yes.
Wesker. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You couldn't do characters like that, but
No, and I wouldn't want them to.
Mhm.
In all honesty, I want a pure Dead by Daylight where it's just their original creations. Yeah, it's nice to play Mikey every now and again, and it's nice to have the Demogorgon and stuff like that in there. But a lot of people really enjoy playing their created characters.
Mhm.
And I think they should stick with that because they're licensed characters. They all have their own movies. They all have their own stories that we've already heard those. Let people learn about the Dead by Daylight characters because one, if you read some of these stories, you yourself might get an inspiration for a story too. Just remember,
Mhm.
no plagiarizing. But I mean, in today's day and age, everything that you see, you can pull a little bit of references from something else, which is fine because people get inspired by watching your movies, watching your podcasts, watching your gameplays, listening to you, watching someone play a game, they get inspired. So everything that we create and we put out there, we are inspiring people.
Mhm.
So putting this out there could inspire the next group of what? Oh, my PlayStation went off. I was like, why is everything in my background blue? um,
Absolutely.
but this would be a great way to inspire other people, and I think
Mhm.
that's really cool. So yeah, a Dead by Daylight movie I'm really excited for.
When you said it, I was like all over that. It's like, what? Where did this come from? So when do they think that'll be done? Is it started production, or is it just a really early
I
phase before?
have it's just early development as far as I know.
It's
They
one of those
don't
that you hope that doesn't get dumped or dropped somewhere along the process. You really hope that it gets traction and the studios stay behind it, and the director doesn't. That everything works to where you actually have it. Because
and I was also waiting for it to become official, which they did make it official um on 5 days ago.
well,
I can behavior, blah blah. It's official behavior. We've always considered Dead by Daylight to celebrate as a celebration of the horror genre. Uh, Stay tuned for further updates and developments. As always, see you in the fall of the Dead by Daylight team. So they don't have anything other than James Wan, Jason Bloom, Stephen Mulrooney. Executive producers include Behavior Interactive, Atomic Monsters, Michael Clear, and Judson Scott. And Bloomhouse's Ryan Turek and Strider Entertainment's Russell Binder. So those are all the people that are these. So basically, they have their director and their producers, and that's all that they have attached to it at this point. So they're probably still doing casting and writing scripts and things like that, which I do like the fact that they are working with Behavior to write the script. So the developers of the game will have influence, will have their hands in this.
well, that's good. Exactly. Yeah. Don't take it on a sudden 90-degree right turn off the cliff that where it doesn't feel like the game, because that's where I think, like with the Sonic movies, for example, once they got the art, they listened to the fans, got the CGI right, but it still had a lot of the spirit. At least to me, had a lot of spirit of what made Sonic kind of cool and stuff like that. And I think that's what you in some of these video, especially the video games, you want to keep that. I mean, there'll be times to take some liberties. Just have some surprise for the audience. Maybe something that can hook them that they might not have thought. But just not completely demolish.
Don't original Mario Brothers it.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that movie.
Monkey.
Uh,
Only good line in that entire movie, but I still love it. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is with people on the word monkey, but it's so
okay.
damn funny. And I love that.
This
You
is
know the scene
crazy.
I'm talking about, right?
I've heard it. I don't think I've saw that. But I think I've heard people imitating that sound again. Monkey. Yeah. But that's awesome. Yeah, but
Uh,
exactly. Don't sit there and ruin the movie. Don't you know keep it in your
I got,
applicable to the
got
game.
this. I got this. Give me a second.
Uh-oh. All right. Can't wait to see this.
Ready? Ready?
Monkey.
Monkey.
Monkey. What the hell was that again? Let me look at that again.
That's for the Mario Brothers thing.
I know that, but who the hell was that guy?
That's Dennis Hopper.
That what?
He
What was on
yeah,
his head? He looked like a Klingon or something. He looked like from Star Trek.
but it was Dennis Hopper.
Uh,
Oh no!
yeah, let's see if we can see it one more time. I was kind of shocked.
Hold on.
Okay.
I've had a longer clip for you. All right, you ready? So he just shot. Remember now, he's playing King Koopa, and he just shot. I think it's the mayor of New York with the de-evolvalizer, if I remember correctly. Monkey.
Ah. Oh my gosh.
I love it.
I don't know. I might have to go back and watch that movie just for the fun of it. That is hilarious.
I love that thing. Monkey.
Yay. And
Oh, oh my gosh.
I
That's
didn't
because
remember I didn't remember that I just I didn't remember what King Koopa looked like, but I didn't think he looked like that.
And
Okay.
for those of you who don't know, when we grew up, there was this animated series, animated slash live action series called the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. And they would do little live action scenes with like Mario and Luigi. And then we would get to the animated. And I think it was on Fridays we got The Legend of Zelda, where we got the famous line, well, excuse me, princess. And in that show, when they went to the Mushroom Kingdom, Princess Peach was known as Princess Toadstool, and Bowser was King Koopa, hence the Koopa Kids. So we grew up with him being called King Koopa. I didn't learn who. I was so confused with someone was like, well, Princess Peach and King and Bowser, and I'm like, who and who? Huh? I don't
Yeah.
know these people.
Yeah.
And Princess Toadstool was a brunette slash redhead.
Oh gosh.
You remember what she looked like, right?
No, I don't, because I not seen this movie. Remember
Well, that wasn't the movie.
the movie? Oh, the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But you know what? For everybody out here, show us again if you got a picture. It never hurts to see. Oh yeah,
Princess Toadstool.
Daisy. She redhead? I thought she was brunette, like a brownish.
She's got that orange hair.
Ah,
And orange could be interpreted as brunette or red. And I've learned this the hard way just because of the fact that, which we're going to use this as a tie-in. There was a conversation that I had with somebody who's like, well, April O'Neil's a redhead. And I was like, but I thought April O'Neil was a brunette from the old 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show. And I guess it depends on where you're looking and what you're watching because, like, here, to me,
mm-hmm.
that looks like brown.
Yeah, that brown. Okay, yes, that's brown.
That looks like brown.
That's very brown. Yep.
That's brown.
Yeah.
But then she becomes a redhead. Somehow her hair color changed along the way. But I remember her as having brown hair, not red hair. So, and
Yeah.
that's good. And that actually brings me to the next movie that was announced: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem.
Okay. So is
So
this the new? Is this the new one that I've been seeing stuff on Twitter about?
ignore the stuff on Twitter. And if anybody has anything to say about this, I have a quote from the actual creator. So stop, because no one was up in arms when Baxter Stockman became this nerdy little white guy for the 1980s, 90s cartoon when he was obviously black in the comic.
Yeah.
So I don't care what her race is. April O'Neil's race is not one of those that has to be a certain race as far as I'm concerned.
I think where some of the part that I saw was that more that people it was kind of like disappointing. It was like really downplayed art. Did not make her pretty. Did not make. It just was kind of blah. Not
Okay, but I think a lot of it has a little bit to do with the art style.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly how with the art style.
I'm about to show you because we're going to
Okay.
watch the trailer. Which, can I say, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the perfect place. Nickelodeon is the perfect place for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because let's think of it. When you think of Ninja Turtles, you think of ooze, and when you think of Nickelodeon, you think of ooze slash slime. So this is a good home for them. By the way, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. So one, if you look at this art style, you'll notice it has that more painted look instead of like animated look. And in my opinion, it looks great for scenes like this. For this, it looks great. Okay, why did you stop?
I tell you what, I don't like that. I don't like this art style on the surface.
I don't like it when we get to this part.
Ugh.
I don't like this art style. I think it's great for sweeping the city and that artistic vibe and landscaping. I don't think it looks good for character development.
Yeah.
Stay still.
Sorry.
Stay still. Now. Oh! Let's try that again, but
Oh
with
my
ninja
God.
It
stars.
looks almost like claymation in a way.
Hey.
Yeah, but it's missing that. They're still. It look. I guess the art style that they're going for with the painted look is it looks a little bit more rough and gruff. But the thing is watching this trailer, you're gonna realize this is definitely made for kids. This is totally for kids. It is way too playful. It basically, think of back when we were kids watching the 80s 90s cartoons, because some people, it came out in 1990. For me, it came out in 1989, so technically it's an 80s cartoon compared to the comic, which was very dark. The 80s cartoon was very slapstick and very a product of its time. And this, to me, as I'm watching this, the way that the turtles are behaving, make it a product for its time, for this generation. This is their version of the 80s slapstick series. That's the way that I feel.
Okay.
I'm also going to turn the volume down just a little bit because there
Why
is
don't we
music
make a
playing
fruit
in the
shake
background.
Exactly like my head. Just stop talking. You're
I
ruining my
hate.
concentration.
You're fine. Chill.
Also, Donatello obviously has not dropped his testicles, and I don't think they're teenagers. I think he's 10.
It's apparent on that one.
And here's brooding. Here's the thing. Why is Leo brooding in the background? Leo's not supposed to be the brooding one. That's Raffi.
He's
Yeah.
gonna die.
He's gonna die. Oh my God. Up with the music.
What is
Ooh, teacher, pick me. Teacher, pick me.
Yes, Amanda. What is that?
Why does Splinter have afro mullet?
Wow. Hey. Now we've seen it all.
Why does Splinter have an afro mullet? That's an afro mullet.
I have now
Afro mullet. Afro mullet. Afro mullet.
I like that. That's just.
I don't. You really want my opinion? I don't care what they've done with everything else. I don't like this. This looks stupid. What are you trying to make him look like? The Afro Samurai? He doesn't even look like the Afro Samurai. He really doesn't. It's so ugly. I'm laughing again, and I just saw this last night and I laughed so hard at it. I'm like, what the hell is this? Even has the freaking sideburns down there.
that is like.
Y'all can fight over April O'Neil. I want to know what the hell this shit is.
That is one of the creepiest things I've ever seen, I think, Amanda. I mean, Shredder's supposed to be. How do you respect your sensei?
Oh, wait. I'm gonna piss you off here in a little bit.
All right. Hey, all right. That's the spirit.
Okay.
What the heck are those things? They look like little Shreks to me.
Okay, that's a funny line. I will give them that. They look like little Shreks to me. That's quite a funny line. Not as funny as Splinter's hair, but it is a funny line. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing over Splinter's fucking hair. Oh, let's go back for just a second. Bebop or Rocksteady? You know what though? For at least you know it's them. You could tell that it's them. That's not a problem. again, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm not a fan of this art style. I know it's more for a lot of people. This is very artsy and expressive. It does not connect with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's your April O'Neil for a quick brief, but you'll get to see her again in a second.
We've prepared our whole.
Oh my God! Okay.
I just, yeah. What?
Look at the little turtle! Oh my God!
Like, what
Look
the hell
at
is that?
the little turtle. Okay, I will say this: he kind of looks cute. That little, he's so little cute. Can
Wow.
I just wanna. Okay, look.
Yeah.
You want any money from me? I'll take this in a plushie.
Yeah, that looks cute. It's a baby Yoda without the ears.
I will be honest. This is like the only cute thing I've seen through this whole trailer.
Prepared our whole life for this, Hannah.
Oh my God!
Oh my! I'm gonna be sick. Leo, what happened? Is Donnie bleeding?
Like I said, do you see how for me this is how I get the vibe that this is definitely going to be for kids, probably about 10 years old. It's obviously even younger than
Mhm.
like this is this is not made for my generation of Ninja Turtles. It's not. And that's fine. I have plenty of I have my I have my 90s movies. I have my 80s series. I I have plenty of turtle stuff and things to remember the turtles by. I don't actually need anything new for turtles. So making something new for a new generation, I'm totally okay with. So I do understand that this is not for my demographic. And I get that. From the art style to this. I mean, the fact that Leonardo got sick from Raph's thigh stabbing Donnie in the leg. But this type of comedy, you could definitely tell they're setting this up for kids.
It was an accident. Mikey, watch out!
Also, did you notice that Michelangelo had braces?
Nope. But that's an interesting detail that they added in.
Braces.
Huh.
You know what, though? Again, they're, if any of the turtles were to have braces, they picked the right one.
Yeah.
And here, and then I know some people are like, yeah, but a turtle doesn't. You guys do seem to forget they are mutants, and they obviously have some human qualities. So they're gonna probably have things like vision issues. So Donnie's gonna have to wear glasses. Mikey, you could tell here he does have crooked teeth, so they're trying to straighten his teeth out. You might want to try Invisalign though, so you can eat the food that you like. Someone get Mikey some Invisalign.
Oh my God.
Mikey, watch out!
So you were baby turtles.
And of course, this is the controversy, and I don't care.
But we kind of touched. We just kind of touched on it with the Dead by Daylight, but just the way they just dramatically changed her, almost like
Well, okay.
just changes the way what we're used to April looking like and stuff, and not just that. I think the art style has a lot to do with it.
Well,
I think a lot style has a lot to do with it.
It's just nicer, it rolls off the tongue better, yeah.
Ooze.
It's nice, right? It's
And
It's
then
just,
I
there's
will.
so much difference, so much change between the art.
But
style
I will
and
say
she
this:
looks at.
so everybody's really upset that she's of a different race. But here's the thing, and I can actually bring this up. Give me a second, because I actually saved this. This is where I went and I did my research because I'm amazing.
Yay!
Oh, and if you didn't see the names, there's Mika Abbey, Hannibal Buress, Nicholas Cantu, Jackie Chan. He'll be playing here. Jackie Chan's playing here.
Mm.
This. Okay, I'll have to go to the other one. Post Malone, Seth Rogen, Maya Rudolph, Ice Cube, John Cena, Rose Bryan, Paul Rudd. So there's a lot of big names attached to this. Now, we are going to share screen. Eastman and Laird watched their self-published comic book evolve into a multimedia empire. Devoted fans of the Reptilian Ninjas have argued that April O'Neil's ethnic identity is less a case of whitewashing and more a result of miscommunication. In 2002, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, an autobiography, Kevin Eastman explained that April was originally created as an Asian character in Pete's Notes, but named after an African-American woman I once knew. Conversely, Laird addressed the subject by saying it depends on which of the creators or co-creator of the TMNT you ask. If you ask me, I always saw April O'Neil as white. If you ask Kevin, I would suspect he would say, as he has in a number of interviews, that she was of mixed race, much like his former girlfriend, then wife, then ex-wife April. So, there. As far as from that interview there with Eastman, April can be of any race that you want her to be, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but again, I think in this case, a lot of the thing that I know people are saying that, but also a lot of people just have a problem with the way she looks. It just does not come off. It's just the appearance. It's just and I think like I said, it's a combination of the art style, and it just doesn't work for me.
But see, every bit of the controversy is, oh, you've turned another redhead black. Okay, again, I never saw her as a redhead, so my takeaway on April is this: it's how you see her. I saw her as a brunette. The original comics, yeah, she looked black. She did not look white at all, in my opinion. She had the same curly hair as this girl here and here. And the first person to go, oh, but she's fat. Okay, so, hey, cool. Fat meat can go hang out with the turtles. You think I'm gonna be upset because you made a main character chunky? You stupid. I like seeing chunky people. I'm a chunky person.
I'm not.
And I hate to say this, but it's kind of nice to have chunky people as not just the stupid comic relief who do piss and shit jokes.
Exactly. They shouldn't be the comic relief, the butt of the jokes and stuff. It's nice to have, your average person, be a star, be positive, instead of not just always put down. But,
and again, this is for kids. So they made a main character a chubby African-American girl for little kids? Oh no, heaven forbid we teach kids that it's okay that characters can be anything.
Well, I wonder how much of this is also brushed back against Seth Rogen, because he's a very popular target to criticize and hate, and I do not like him, but how much is really, it's just one more thing to pick.
It's something to pick on him, and I got that feeling as well. Now, the only thing that I do not like is you mentioned a character, the Shredder. Guess who's not in this movie?
Shredder's not in this movie?
Shredder is not in this movie.
Oh, wow. Okay. No. So who's our bad guy?
I don't know. We obviously have the 4 turtles.
Yep.
We have April.
We have Splinter, the Afro mullet guy.
But they're going with some very obscure characters that I thought some of them were. I remember 2 of them being in the cartoon. If the other ones were in the cartoon, it was really late when the show was going downhill and they were just coming up with characters and toys to make money. Because, okay, so Genghis Frog, I know who that is. Well, I have the toy. He's in my collection. And I know who Leatherhead is. and Baxter Stockman's in it, played by I always mess up his first name, but Esposito from Breaking Bad and The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
I always just call him G Esposito because I can never pronounce his first name. I'm sorry. But you're amazing, and I absolutely love and adore you. So if you don't know who Leatherhead is the Cajun alligator that was a bad guy for a few episodes. Of course, we have Bebop and Rocksteady, who they may end up being the big bad guys. They have a character called Superfly, and I'm wondering if that's when Baxter Stockman becomes the Fly. Then we have Ray Fillet. Now, when I looked it up, I remember the toy. I don't ever remember seeing it on the show. It's the Stingray. Yeah, you just... Hold on.
Yeah, I'm not, because see, a lot of that I'm not familiar with. I was more of a casual passing viewer. So when you get specific, I'm kind of a little at a loss, but hey.
So this is Ray Fillet.
Oh my gosh.
I remember the toy. Well, that's a bad picture of the toy. Can I have a good picture of the toy?
I don't know. Some toys are
I remember the toy, but see, like, there's Samurai Leo and Skateboarding Mikey and Undercover Donnie. So this is way late.
Undercover
Way
Donnie.
late. Way late. This is when, like, they came out with 14 different versions of the Turtles to sell toys. So this was, like, way late in the game. Another one, that they have in there. I don't even know who Cynthia Trum is. I have no idea. And I'm guessing that's going to be their new bad because I have no idea who that is and I couldn't find them. Now, I do remember Mondo Gecko. He was like the totally rad lizard dude, man. That totally like meshed with like the turtles, bro. And he totally talked like this, bro, and was totally Californication, man. I remember him, and I have that toy. And how do you spell Genghis Frog again? I've always mispronounced, or not mispronounced it, but misspelled it. I think it's there it is. So there's Genghis Frog, because I have that toy.
I was thinking that's what you were saying.
So it's Genghis Frog. Leatherhead.
Why do I keep thinking of Leatherface when you say Leatherhead?
Probably, but that's Leatherhead.
Yeah.
Had a thick Cajun accent. Thick Cajun accent. We all know who Baxter Stockman is. And, we're Wingnut. Oh, my God. I had to look this one up because I could not for the life of me. You could tell that I was looking these up because they're coming up. Who the hell are these two?
Oh, my gosh.
Who the are these two?
Screw Loose. Wingnut and Screw Loose. Ah, those are good names.
I mean, obviously, it has Nickelodeon's thing on it, but who the hell are you?
Oh, these are the end of the discount toy aisle shelves.
I was like, look, I get it that, Disney made money off of some random characters for, at the time, they were random Guardians of the the Guardians of the Galaxy, even though, they didn't do the original Guardians, but that's okay. And, Iron Man was such a third tier back in the day, things like that. But that doesn't mean everybody has to go third tier. And really? You're going with Wingnut? You couldn't pick, if you didn't want to do Shredder, you couldn't pick Slash, the evil mutant turtle?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, Flash. That's a good name.
No, Slash. No, Slash. SLASHER.
Yeah,
Slash.
You'd think they'd come up with a better name than that because it's kind of already out there in a superhero universe anyway.
But dude, Slash?
Oh, Flash? I thought you were saying Flash.
No, Slash.
Slash. Okay. Well, that's a little bit more like Dead by Daylight there.
Slash was really cool. He was like, I have his toy. He's one of my faves. He was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those were the characters I
Yeah.
decided to go with. And again,
Maybe it's for the best, though. Maybe maybe
it could be
different.
like I said. It's you could tell by the humor and the jokes.
Well, and the first thing, what did I say? Shredder, because everybody
Yeah.
expects it. So you're doing something different with a different bad guy. And that's what we always talk about is trying to do something fresh, something a little different, but staying within the lore. And it is in that universe.
I mean, if you really want, they could go the comic book way and make this after the death of Shredder. So if you know the comic book lore, Shredder originally died in the very first episode. He was a throwaway character for Eastman and Laird. They killed him in the first comic. He got stabbed through the stomach and got grenaded and went boom.
I didn't think anybody died in the Turtles. Oh my gosh! Oh boy, my childhood dream.
This is the comic. So so Shredder died. It was 2 years later before Shredder came back, and it's not even really Shredder.
Yeah,
it is a worm clone of Shredder that has existed in the realm of TMNT.
That's bizarre.
This entire time.
Ugh.
The real Shredder is dead.
Oh. There goes my party.
And he left the Foot Clan in his daughter's care.
Okay.
Which his daughter is badass. Karai, I love Karai. I know those of us who only know the cartoons or the 90s movies don't know who Karai is. But for those who've read the comics or even got to see there was that animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie where you actually got to meet Karai because the Shredder was dead. And April was with Casey. Oh, what was that? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated. I actually enjoyed it. I just got to remember the name of it. Oh, it's just called TMNT.
TMNT, yeah.
That one was actually really good, and you got to meet Karai in there, and that went along with the series that was going on at the time. And another really good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that came about recently within the last couple of years was the Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if you haven't seen it, you are denying yourself because it has the most epic battle ever between the Shredder and Batman.
Really?
It is the greatest battle ever.
Okay.
So I don't for those that are complaining, this is not as bad as that fucking Velma show.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, I always compare everything to The Last Jedi, with all the bad sword, the bad lightsaber fighting, the clearly bad fight, But you know what? Hey, as long as it's good,
Say what you want, but at least. Oh, sorry, I just realized we're wrapping up right now.
Okay, yeah, it's really really cool though. It's interesting to hear all this that I did not know about the TMNT stuff. Because I did not know that there was a world outside of Shredder. It's kind of like Cobra, like G.I. Joe. It's all Cobra. You got Cobra and G.I. Joe, and you always have the Snake Eye, or not Snake Eyes, but the Cobra guy with the Cobra Commander with his helmet on and stuff. And it's just, but there's more to this. That's nice to hear about that because I had no clue.
Yeah, there's always the opportunity if you ever want to. We could play educate Davin on the difference between the show and the comic because G.I. Joe, the difference between the comics and the show.
Oh, I can only imagine how much even bigger it is between the comics and the movies. So
here's one for you. Cobra Commander used to be a used car salesman.
I wouldn't be surprised though.
He has a son.
No. Or is this... No, I didn't. Who's his son?
His son's name is Billy.
Oh, I thought it was
It's in
going to
the
be one of
comic.
the good guys. I thought it was going to be one of the good guys.
He does become one of the good guys. He actually hangs out with Scarlet and Snake Eyes, who are an item in the comic. Storm Shadow becomes a good guy in the comic.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of differences. Maybe we'll have to do a spin-off for you and me one night and go teach Dadman. We'll call it the difference between comics and the show.
We could do that. We could do that. Sounds.
It could be interesting.
Yeah.
Because we haven't done much, and sorry, but I won't be able to play Fortnite with you anymore.
What's that?
I won't be able to play Fortnite with you anymore.
Oh, I
deleted it.
Oh, you deleted it. Oh,
the game pissed me off, that man.
Wow. You were so desperate you delete. Was the sweats that bad, or was it just?
I was getting into people that just could snipe me from a distance. They got me because I've been playing for so long in top tier things, and I just couldn't play anymore. I couldn't do anything. I wouldn't.
The lobbies. You got that tougher lobbies because of your levels. And yeah.
For how long I've been playing, and it's just it just I wasn't having any fun, and I found a new thing.
Well,
Stardew Valley.
I start taking to when I do my streams is just blowing up gas stations and stuff. Yeah, just have fun with it. Hey, if we win, we win. If not, I mean, I got my teammates running around and playing. I'm like, I'm still running to the gas stations, blow stuff up, or jump off a building or whatever else. So, but I got you.
I know you got because you've got stuff that you got to do, and we're over our 1 hour. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think. Dead by Daylight movie, do you think it's going to be good? Do you think they got the right director or producers attached to it? And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, give them a break. It's made for kids. Let kids enjoy it. You didn't hear you didn't hear our parents griping and complaining when we had our Ninja Turtles. Don't ruin this for the little kids. It's made for little kids. Come on. Just let the kids have their fun. The movie's made for little kids to have fun and laugh. Let them do it. Let them zone out and let them be kids and have fun. Stop making everything this controversy that doesn't need to be.
I'm still laughing in my head that I've played with people that have rage quit Fortnite. I've had people that went to Twitter to say, screw the game, they'll never play it again and go back. But I've never heard of somebody that was actually went that step of deleting it from the game.
I got rid of it off of both my PC and my PlayStation.
Wow, double deal. Wow, geez. You couldn't get new people to help you. Well, I know that's sorry. Well, maybe one day we'll do it again for fun. But hey,
maybe you'll just have to give me a heads up because I'll have to reinstall the thing.
Yeah, there you go.
It was a long time coming. You've seen my downfall with the game.
No, a lot of people are voicing that same frustration. The weapons or some things are OP. They let the Deku thing in forever. I mean, it's just and then some of those things just you don't mind.
And the thing is the only way that I could do my videos was I had to go into squads to do the videos, and then of course that meant that if there was one squad anywhere near me, I was toast.
Yeah.
So because all it became when I was trying to do the videos was people camping the areas, so you couldn't do them.
That is increased too, especially around reboot vans and vaults and stuff. But hey,
yeah.
On that
note, that man's got to go. We're over our time limit, and I get to go sit back, relax, because I don't have to work tomorrow. So lots of streaming for me tomorrow. But of course, as always, first make sure that you're checking out my buddy Dadman. He is right here on Twitter at DadmanWalkie50 or Twitch at DadmanWalkie55. He's on Twitter at DadmanWalkie55, and of course, he is on YouTube at DadmanWalkie55. And you can't see it; his name's right there.
Yes, I make it easy for everybody. That way I don't forget what I am.
And of course, if you need more AGP, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube. And don't forget, we've already got 2 shows booked. We've got Geek Out coming on June 8th through the 11th. And we have the Gem City Comic Con, which is going to be July 22nd and 23rd at the Dayton Convention Center in Dayton, Ohio. And be on the lookout for 2 creator podcasts. One with Anna Fields, which has not been dated yet, but it's coming. And this Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that'll be the 12th. of March, we have Rodney Fike from House of Productions coming on to talk about his newest Kickstarter. And there's a naughty cover for you guys. If you come and watch, you'll see that there's a reward for a naughty cover. Ooh. But on that note, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Diamond, thank you so much for stopping by. It's been a long time.
Hey, no problem. A great pleasure. Hey, great topic. I couldn't resist when I heard that. Awesome.
And of course, good luck. Congratulations on all that you're doing. Congratulations to you and you way in the back for just being awesome. And we'll see you all on the next one. Bye.
Bye.